Hello and welcome to the Norwegian edition of the Gambler Betting Podcast. I'm Select to Bet and we are back with the penultimate edition of the Gambler Betting Podcast covering the leagues in Norway, joined by Greg and David. How's it going, guys?
Going good, thank you.
Good, thank you, Paul. All well.
Good. As I say, only 2 rounds of it to go, David. We've got a lot of we know the champions, Bodo Glimt, obviously, finished the season like a train, and I guess all the action is below them for a place for Europe in Eliteserien and at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, Bodo Glimt obviously champions, well deserved after the way they finished the season. But yeah, as I say, Brann, Tromsø, Viking, all battling out for 2 European spots between them. Currently Brann 1 point ahead of Tromsø, another 2 back to Viking. So that's an interesting battle going into the last 2 weeks. Probably more excitingly at the bottom, Vålerenga, deep in trouble, just managed a draw at home to Stabæk last time out. They are 1 point behind Stabæk, currently sitting in the relegation zone, Stabæk in the playoff zone, and then another 2 points to Sandefjord. And another 2 points to Haugesund, not quite out of the trouble yet. Haugesund needs to get something this week because they play Stabæk next week, so we don't want to go into that, needing the result. So I think at the bottom is where all the excitement is.
Fascinating, isn't it? Fascinating at the bottom. What's to play for? And it's probably quite fitting that Stabæk and Sandefjord meet each other on Sunday. It's a massive, massive game because ultimately Vålerenga could find themselves down. Not mathematically, but if they were to lose on Sunday and Stabæk were to win, they'd be 3 points adrift for the game left to go and a much worse goal difference than Sandefjord. So, it's going to be a huge weekend at the bottom. Huge.
Yeah, as you say, Greg, that Stabæk Sandefjord is probably match of the weekend, just in terms of what's at stake. We've also got Brann at home to Glimt. Obviously, Brann looking to secure European football as well. Given where we're at in terms of this stage of the season, there's 3 games I make it that are pretty much dead rubbers, David, so we'll probably gloss over those this week.
Yeah, Lillestrøm odd, Rosenborg Godset, Sarpsborg Molde, pretty much nothing to play for in those 3 games. Yeah, just mid-table scraps between 3 teams that probably wish they'd done better this season and 3 teams that are kind of where you expect.
Yeah, we'll start off at the top of the table then. That big game is Brann v Bodo Glimt. Obviously Brann looking to secure European football, and I guess it's just a case of how hungry Glimt are going to be now, David, now that the title has been wrapped up, and are they going to go full pelt at it given they've got a European game this week as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to know. I think obviously the bookies are taking no chances in terms of they think Brann are big favourites. Brann are lower than evens, 10-11 just now. So they obviously think that Bodo Glimt will take it a bit easy. I mean, nothing that I've seen in the 4 or 5 years I've been watching the Eliteserien would suggest that they're going to. If you remember the first year they won, they were going for a load of records, so they just kept their foot in the gas. But even
David's been telling us for months and months and seasons now. To be fair, he doesn't rotate.
He doesn't
rotate. He's not going to mix it up. But I'm really interested to see with European football coming up this week.
Yeah,
does he make some changes? It
and
makes sense to do that.
Yeah, it does. It's a must-win game in Europe. If they win in Europe, they're through to the knockout stages, which is obviously massive. Sunday to Thursday is a good rest. I don't see there being a problem. It's a home game on Thursday as well. So I think there might be 1 or 2 changes, but I think we're going to see a strong Bodo Glimt team going up against a Brann team who are hungry for second place. I wouldn't be surprised if Brann win. I think that they're a good home team. They've been very good at home this season. They've got 11 wins out of 14 games, 35 points. It's best record in the league, equal with Bodo Glimt, which is impressive. But the best away team in the league are Bodo Glimt, and they've won 10 of their 14. So it's going to be hard. But I think for me, if you're getting given even money on Bodo Glimt to score 2 goals or more in any game, I think it's hard to pass. I think they've got so much firepower. Just looking at like the last away games, they scored 4 at Stabæk, they scored 3 at Molde, they scored 4 at HamKam, they drew 1-1 at Rosenborg, they scored 3 at Haugesund, they scored 2 in a loss at Viking, they scored 5 before that at Sandefjord. So they scored plenty of goals. They've scored 37 goals in 14 away games against a Brann team who like to attack themselves. I find it hard to pass by even money on Bodo Glimt to score a couple of goals in this one. Even I can see them losing 3-2. I can see them winning 3-0.
Well, interestingly, really, David, I'm just looking at the head-to-head records, and the last kind of 5 or 6 games have finished 2-2, 2-2, 2-1 to Bodo, 4-1 to Bodo, 2-0 to Brann, and 3-1 to Bodo. So it is a fixture that serves up plenty of goals from both sides. So I think you're probably right to urge on the goal side, given the fact that Bodo have scored 2 or more goals in 5 of the last 6 meetings. I think for me, though, in terms of what's at stake, I'd probably be more inclined to back Brann goals. Not instead of Bodo Glimt goals. I just think that European game, with the league wrapped up and Brann wanting to finish second, which would be a fantastic season for them. We said at the start of the season we expected Brann to be up there, kind of European places, but I don't think we expected them to be likely finishing second. So a brilliant season for them, and I think you're right. 10-11 is a little bit skinny against the league's best side at home. There might be an angle here potentially in corners, but I think goals is the best way to go.
Yeah.
For either side or for match goals.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the fact that over 2.5 is 4-11, you'd like to think that Glimt are going to contribute in some way to that total. So why not just take even money on Glimt to evens?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, if you look at the record this season, and they've scored in every single away game apart from one, and that was a really strange game at Stones Godset. So I can't see them not scoring, and I think you're right. Only 2 games this season they've not scored 2 or more. So I think it's wise to just be involved in the goals.
What we will be doing, David, is our goal before 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. Probably not across all 8, because there are some really horrible matches. But that said, all 8 games a goal in the first half an hour will pay a very, very handsome return, and as will your goal before 15 minutes. So it might be worth picking some of the games that there's something reading on it on Sunday.
Yeah, just touching on Brann, David, before we wrap up on this game, they are away to Stones Godset next week. It would be a disaster if they got this far and ended up finishing 4th.
Yeah, it would. Obviously, Tromsø as well are up there, and they are away at Vålerenga next week, which is obviously potentially a massive game for Vålerenga.
Yeah.
Potentially a massive game for Tromsø as well. So that's a tough game for Tromsø. And if you look at Viking, they've got Ålesund away this week, which looks like the easiest game, and then a home game against a Rosenborg team who's kind of chucked it. So yeah, Viking look like they've got the best opportunity to get max points. So it's just up to the others two to make sure that they do that as well to stay in those second and third places.
Yeah, and brilliantly done, David. It takes us right on to that Viking game. As you say, they're away to Ålesund already relegated. And Viking, they must be kicking themselves given the position they were in a few weeks ago. But they're still not out of it yet with 2 games to go.
Yeah, absolutely kicking themselves. They lost 3 in a row. They lost 4 out of 5 in a period of games where they were top of the league. They went from top of the league and they're now 12 points behind.
Yeah, we were speaking about Viking potentially being an opportunity to back them to win the league at 7-4.
Yeah.
And as David said, they're 12 points behind now, which is a remarkable collapse in such a short space of time.
Yeah, I was looking back there. Remember, Viking beat Bodo Glimt back on the 6th of August. But since then, Glimt just haven't looked back. They've been unbeaten since that result, but Viking have just kind of collapsed after that.
Yeah, it's interesting how that's worked, isn't it? Like, you think Viking would get the momentum for it, but maybe like the emotion from that kind of made it difficult for them to get up for future games. I just think this week though, against an Ålesund are relegated. They confirmed down last time out with a defeat against Bodo Glimt. Viking go there. No, they need to win. It's as simple as that. They need to win. They need to stay in the hunt for the European spot, which is obviously a good consolation if they can get it. And one thing that they have still been doing in their games has been hitting plenty of corners. They managed last time out in the game they won. They were quite defensive. They only hit 2. But against HamKam they hit 16. They hit 8 against Strømsgodset the week before that, and they hit 9 against Tromsø the week before that. All in games that they lost. So I think they're going to be well on the front foot in this game. I can't see anything else than Ålesund making a few changes and playing some of the younger players to prepare for life next year. And Viking, in a game they need to win. They are 1.40 on the corner match bet, so I'm gonna double that up with another.
Going against our friends, David, in the corner. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah. I just think the way this game's set up, it's set up for Viking to attack, and yeah, the previous away games they've hit 16 and 8. So I think happy to take that on and as part as a double.
Yeah, we'll come to the second part of that double in a wee second. David, just let's finish up on the top section of the league, where, as you said, Tromsø are still in the hunt. They're at home to Haugesund, who are just about safe. Probably another point would do them, but I would expect that Tromsø will probably win this one on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope so. I think what's happened though is Tromsø have really struggled at home in the last 2 games. They lost at home to Ålesund and at home to Strømsgodset. That's their last 2 home games.
Yeah.
It's been their away form that's carried them through this season. 31 points on the road is only 1 fewer than Bodo Glimt. Yes, you would fancy it to win, but I think Haugesund, they've got a new manager who took over officially on the 1st of November. So he's been in charge for 2 games and he's lost them both. And that was after what was a really, really good run for the caretaker. They won 3 in a row to get out of trouble. So a defeat against Lillestrøm and a defeat against Brann last time out means that they do still need I'd still think they need a point. Just to be sure, I think they'll be going to Tromsø hoping that they can get something, and Tromsø's home form against poorer teams has been a bit of an issue. So
tell you what, David, on the corners front for Haugesund, they are 2-5 to hit 3 corners, and they're 5-6 to hit 4. So I don't think that's the worst of shouts for a side who really do want to get that additional point that guarantees safety. So again, potentially an angle in there on Haugesund corners in this match.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but we do have the other half of that corner double, David, and it's in the HamKam v Vålerenga game. Vålerenga absolutely desperate for a win this weekend at HamKam.
Yeah, I mean, a team the size of Vålerenga, this is your big club from Oslo. This is massive. If they go down, they are in big trouble. They lost 4 in a row, and then they drew at home to Stabæk 0-0 last time. They desperately need to beat HamKam. HamKam, who have saved themselves with a fantastic 6 points in the last 2 games against Viking and a 1-0 win at Strømsgodset. That's them safe. They can prepare for next year, but they will definitely not be taking their foot off the gas. I think it's going to be a big crowd in Hamar this week. And Hamar Kameratene are not the biggest fans of Vålerenga. It's almost a rivalry.
You give them their Sunday name there, David?
Yeah, sorry. It's a HamKam. The Hamar comrades. They don't like Vålerenga, so I think they'll be desperate to put them down. And yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I think Vålerenga, they're going to be so up for it. Even money, I think they might just drop below evens now. Looks like a really good price for a team who's absolutely desperate to win. And I just think they're going to have to go there and give it absolutely everything. So again, the corner match bet, Vålerenga desperate for a win, going to chuck everything at HamKam. HamKam, no, it's not this. The flip flops on. Is it? It's the snow. The skis are on. They're ready to go into the winter. And yeah, you just have.
It's colossal, isn't it? It really is. Yeah. What's really interesting though for this game is Vålerenga's away form is actually very, very good. they've actually picked up 64% of their points on the road. And believe it or not, for a side that's sitting second bottom, they've actually got a better away record than 10 other sides in the Eliteserien. So they've got that to look at, to give them hope. And the fact, I know Dave was speaking about there would be a rivalry there, but ultimately HamKam are safe. Motivation-wise, Vålerenga know that nothing will do other than 3 points here. A draw is absolutely no use. They must win this game. And I was quite surprised to see us getting even money at the start of the week on Vålerenga to win this. When you look at Vålerenga's form, it's diabolical. It's really, really poor. But sometimes when you get to the stage of the season, you have to just kind of forget about that and focus on what's important. And I think for Vålerenga, they know what's at stake here, and hope. I guess for them, they'll be hoping that HamKam are on the beach or on the slopes, whatever they do in the winter time in Norway.
Yeah, and I think just with the way the game will go, I'm happy to take on the corner match bet for Vålerenga as well. It's something that they've been pretty good at consistently this season. They've not been terrible on the corner front. They don't lose a lot of corner match bets. And just the game state, I think it's going to suit them. So they're 1.53. The double with Viking plays 2.14. And yeah, I'm quite happy to take that on this weekend.
Yeah, and I think, Greg, just the way the fixtures have panned out, Vålerenga are at home to Tromsø next week. And regardless of what happens at the top of the table this weekend, that game is still going to be meaningful to Tromsø next week.
Yeah, it's going to be meaningful for both clubs next weekend. But Vålerenga have to give themselves a chance. And they have to get the 3 points. Usually, when you've got a situation like this, I would say more often than not, the side needing to get something tends to get something. And I think, as David said, for the size of Vålerenga to be in this situation is unacceptable. So it'll be a fascinating Sunday. Really looking forward to the games on Sunday.
Yeah, excuse me. The big game, I guess, David, is the Stabæk v Sandefjord, and our old favourite Bob Bradley. Can he lead Stabæk to the Great Escape?
Yeah, the Bradley effect in full swing. He has made a huge difference for them. Obviously, last time out, the draw with Vålerenga was a decent result on paper. It kept them in a position above them. It kept them in that playoff slot. They haven't won for 4 now. But, I mean, in fairness, away to Rosenborg, away to Sarpsborg, at home to Bodo, Glimt, and away to Vålerenga, it's 4 really tough games.
Yeah.
So, back home, not against Bodo, Glimt, you fancy them. I think you've got to fancy them to get a win. Obviously, Sandefjord have picked up 2 massive results, beat Rosenborg, who are desperate to put Vålerenga down, and also a good win away at Ålesund, which was Ålesund's last hurrah, pretty much. I think Sandefjord are decent. They've won games like this before when it looked like they would struggle, but their away form's poor. Stabæk's home form is pretty good under Bob Bradley. And yeah, I make them favourites. And 11 to 10 on Stabæk doesn't look too bad in a game where obviously we need to win as well. And at home, I think they've been decent under Bradley, and it's a game that they go into with a bit of confidence, I think.
Yeah, I guess a win for Sandefjord, and it's pretty much all over at the bottom, isn't it, really? It's then just a case of between Stabæk and Vålerenga as to who takes up that playoff place. So yeah, a massive game at the weekend. Greg, all 8 games this weekend at 4 o'clock?
You know the drill. I think it's absolutely worth doing. It's landed a lot of times. I haven't posted any points to it in various leagues and throughout the season. So I think you have to be backing all 8 a goal before half an hour, and I mean like small stakes, because it's probably going to be 40-50 to 1 probably for all 8 a goal in the first half an hour, and maybe pick out 4 or 5 games a goal in the first 10 minutes. I think all 8 games over 1.5 match goals is just a shade above 2 to 1. So not the best of prices. Probably give that a miss and maybe do something in the last game of the season next week. I've not looked at total goals, but I think we can leave that alone this week until the final week. But there's enough to be getting on throughout those fixtures we've discussed tonight so far, including obviously the Vålerenga one. I do like Haugesund corners as well at Tromsø, and that's maybe something I'll also be sharing on the channel.
Yeah. Okay, we've also got the start of the playoffs, David. Obviously, four teams involved from Oberliga looking to get up into Eliteserien, and it's relatively straightforward. Team that finishes sixth plays away to fifth. The winner of that then plays away to the team that finishes fourth, who then play away to the team that finishes third, who then qualify for a two-legged playoff against the team that finishes third bottom in Eliteserien. And if you're still following that, then well done. But this weekend it starts with Brann, who are away to start.
Yeah, Brann, obviously fantastic season for them, getting into the playoffs. Sneaked in the last day with a 1-0 win at Raufoss when Sogndal could only draw him to Mjøndalen. So Brann, tough place to go start. I think in terms of the Oberliga this year, I think only Fredrikstad have had a better home record than Start.
Yeah, so I think it's the same actually. I think they're joint.
Yeah,
10 wins from 15.
Start's home form is absolutely fantastic. They've lost once all season. They come into this on the back of a pretty disappointing 1-1 draw home to Koffa. But at the end, it wouldn't have made a difference anyway. They would have been fifth. So I think you've got to fancy Start at home to Brann. Kristiansand will be, the Sør Arena will be pretty busy. I think they'll be expectant, and a win for them takes them up to Kristiansund for the Christian derby between Kristiansund and Start.
Is that the Sparebanken Sør Arena, David?
Sparebank. So it's
sorry.
It's the main bank in Norway.
There you go. Educational, this podcast. Very
Absolutely.
Educational.
Absolutely.
All your Norwegian banking needs.
It just basically means savings bank. It's not very original. Not very. They've not thought of a name to that. It's quite.
I must admit, I was really surprised to see Start even money for this game. Really, really surprised. As David said, Brann, pretty disappointing first half to the season, but a really good end to the season, getting enough points to sneak into that last playoff spot. But when you look at Start's home form, it is tremendous. 10 wins, 4 draws, just 1 defeat. No one's bettered that. Fredrikstad have the same home record. However, Start they are the league's top goal scorers at home this season, with 32 goals, scoring 2 or more goals in 11 of their 15 games. And when you add into the mix also that Start have scored at least 2 goals in 11 of their last 12 games against Brann. All that together, with the fact as well that Start have collected 74% of their points at home this season. That's the reason why Start aren't further up the table. Their away form has been a disgrace. But at home, very, very solid. And I must admit, even money for Start has to be backed for me. I think it's a tremendous bet. I think at the start of the week, prices came out at 4 to 5. It was a bit probably fair. But I could not believe my eyes when Bet365 are offering even money. So on that note as well, don't get me wrong, Brann are no mugs. Absolutely no mugs at all, and they'll give a game of this. They might very well score. Start might have to score 2 goals to win this game. So I was kind of torn in the old quandary. Do I back goals? Do I back Start to win? But I'm more than comfortable to back Start on both markets. Backing Start to win at even money, and also backing Start to score 2 or more goals at 5 to 6 to get them through to the next round of the Oberliga playoffs.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find, David, when the next round actually takes place. But
yeah, I think it'll be in midweek. I think they play Sunday, Wednesday, or Sunday, Thursday.
Yeah.
So yeah, and obviously if Start get through, we'll be absolutely backing against them away from home because they've won twice away from home all season. So yeah, look forward to backing.
Started into 10 to 11 now from even money today. So I would expect this game is at 6 p.m. on Saturday night, which is great because you've got all the Scottish games to look forward to on Saturday afternoon, and hopefully I'll be celebrating a St Johnstone win at Tynecastle, then looking for the Start score at 6 p.m. in the Boozer. So very much looking forward to this game as well. But yeah, I think for me, Start are a standout in this match for me, and it'd be a big disappointment if they never got through.
Yeah, so the game is on Wednesday in Kristiansund, and then the other game in Kongsvinger on Sunday next week. And then I think the two-legged playoff starts again on the Wednesday. So it's a really tough gig for Start and Brann if they want to get promoted.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. We just wanted to touch on the leagues below, David, as well, and the potential of an Oslo derby next season if things pan out the way we think they might between now and the end of the season.
I thought that Lean Oslo were promoted. They're not actually promoted yet. They won the playoff, which got them another playoff. So they have got to beat Hood over 2 legs. So Hood, who managed to finish 14th in Obosligaen, they have to play off against Lean Oslo. For a place in the Obosligaen next year. So Lean Oslo, if people don't know, they and Vålerenga are very close neighbours and do not like each other. So yeah, the potential of a Lean Oslo Vålerenga derby next year in the Obosligaen is really big. It would almost be the biggest game in Norway.
Do they have a history, David, of being in the Obosligaen, Lean Oslo?
They do. Yeah, they do. So they have been recently in the top league. 2009 was the last time, but they went into administration in 2010 and they were chucked out of the 6th division. So since then they've been working
the long road back.
Yeah, the long road back. The Rangers road back to the top, and yeah. So this is it's taken a while, but this is their chance to get up to the Obosligaen again, which would be the first time in the second tier since 2010. And this would be pretty big for them, and good to have the derby, which is just, yeah, as I say, not a lot of love between them.
Yeah, tremendous knowledge, David. Love it.
I did read up on it quite recently. So.
Okay, I think that's us covered everything for this week. Can you guys just give us a wee recap of your best bets? Let's start with you, David.
Yeah, so first of all, I've got a couple of bets. The corner match bet double, Viking to win the corner match bet against Ålesund, and Vålerenga to win the corner match bet against HamKam. The double pays 2.14. And Bodo Glimt to score a couple of goals or more down in Bergen against Brann, and that is even money.
Good stuff. And Greg?
So yeah, 2 bets from me so far. Start to win against Brann at even money with Bet365, and I'm also taking Start to score 2 or more goals at 5-6. That's also with Bet365. And this week we have a Norwegian nap coming from the Eliteserien, coming from the HamKam versus Vålerenga match, which I shared on the channel on Monday. That's starting to come in a little bit, that price, as expected. So again, snapping up the early value. And I will likely have a corners angle from the Haugesund trip to Tromsø. And I do like the look of David's corners double too, so I'll be having a little nibble on that.
Yep. And speaking of your channel, we have a Black Friday offer running from today, tomorrow, the rest of the week.
Yeah, so running from today until the 1st of December. We do this every season, and for Black Friday, so they're 4th, believe it or not. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? So an opportunity to get on the channel. You get a full year's access for the price of 9, so you're essentially getting 3 months free access, and that more than pays for itself throughout the course of the 12 months. So worthwhile getting on, and I think we've probably got about maybe a good third of the members already locked in to that offer, which is great. So get in touch if you're looking to sign up for the annual offer.
Indeed, so you can get all the details on Twitter if you follow Greg at Browning84, and of course if you want to follow David, he's on Twitter at dweatherston11 as well. That's us for this week's podcast. We'll be back next week for the final Norwegian podcast of the season, so look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Might do a quiz next week. We'll have a Norwegian quiz. I'll come armed with the questions.
No, I hate quizzes. Okay. Anyway, thanks very much for listening to this week's podcast. Thanks for watching if you've watched us on YouTube, and best of luck with your bets this weekend.
Cheers guys.